everyone, I'm Hannah Choe, and I was also a product marketing manager intern at Red Hat on the cross portfolio team this past summer. I'm currently a senior at Boston University studying data science and business, and I'm happy to share my experience. So, just for some context, what is the cross portfolio team? The cross portfolio team's mission is to really connect the products and services through a portfolio-centric messaging in order to help customers in their solution in providing their solutions. So, how they achieved this was making content and really driving the cross and upselling motions. But that begged the question: how effective are our content? So that was the foundation of my main project. The team really lacked visibility into the performance metrics of their content. They needed questions like, are the sellers really looking into our content? Which top 5 personas are looking into it? Is it actually being viewed? So I helped answer those questions by developing a dashboard that looked into the engagement and performance metrics of the content from the Red Hat Content Center through with a focus on the sales plays. So the process really began with just understanding the data from the Red Hat Content Center using basic tools like SQL and pivot tables, just really getting myself immersed into the context of the data, getting initial insights and baseline metrics. Then it was moving it in from a static view to a more dynamic view within the Adobe Analytics. Within Adobe Analytics, I created 6 custom segments for each of the 6 sales plays, which include virtualization, AI platform, app platform, mission automation critical, and more, as well as our 8 core assets, which include business value one-pagers, cheat sheets, intro decks, customer-facing decks as well. So with those, we were able to allow the team to really dive into the dashboard, narrow down their questions, and find the answers that they need within the dashboard. So the biggest challenge while making this dashboard was there was an overload of information. There's a lot of perspectives that were wanted in the dashboard. So I had to really dive myself into my team's perspective, really understand the business strategy of my team, and really define which KPIs were really useful in the dashboard. So with reconstructing the KPIs like top 5 personas, quarter over quarter analysis, I was able to come up with a more solid draft. And with that solid draft, I was able to present it to each of the 6 sales plays workstream calls. This was an iterative process of presenting, gaining feedback, making improvements, and presenting again. And what was really useful was that I was able to get all the perspectives of all of the 6 sales plays and really cater to their needs in the dashboard. Some good feedback was that the dashboard was really helpful in validating their assumptions into the performance of the content, as beforehand they had no idea. They were just assuming based on outside context. So with this, I was able to come up with my final draft, and the next step was presenting it to the BU's leadership in a sales plays readout, and that is where I had to present some more actionable insights, where I'll show one example. So this is a comparative view of the sales plays. The graph on the right is displaying the distribution of the sales plays by content views. And we see that in red, that virtualization and AI platform were the most consumed content. However, if we look at them in the open pipeline, we see that they're generating the least amount of revenue. So why is that? Why is the content that is being consumed the most not generating as much revenue? And while Server Cloud OS was generating the most amount of revenue, but not being consumed as much. So what we're seeing here is how the different market maturity is affecting how the contents are being consumed for each of these sales plays. So virtualization and AI platform are emerging plays. They're a lot newer to the market. So a lot of our sellers are learning about those content, and they're in the learning phase and really consuming all of those top of the funnel contents like introductions. While for mature plays like Server Cloud OS, it has been residing in the market for a really long time. And so a lot of our sellers are not learning, but rather trying to sell. So we need to provide more content that are closing the aids and providing those solutions like battle cards. So with this analysis, we were able to help reframework our strategy for next year in tailoring our sales plays content based on their market maturity in order to just boost the numbers for both sides. So alongside my main project, it was a side project which was increasing knowledge management through auditing of data. There's a new seller experience that is coming in that in addition to Red Hat Content Center, and we wanted to ensure that the chatbot is able to surface the content that is wanted by sellers whenever they're inquiring the chatbot. So we did some auditing and some saturation analysis into our content library and finding those contents that are old or underperforming, as well as duplication and just overall boosting the data hygiene. And with this, we were hoping that sellers, when they're using the AI enhanced experience when selling, the tool will be helpful in directing them to the useful content. So for my key takeaways, the first was the importance of storytelling. I had to work a lot with like raw data and presenting them to a lot of stakeholders. So just really understanding the complex data and how to create a narrative out of it and presenting it in an understandable way for the stakeholders, as well as fail fast and recover faster. This was something that my teammates said, and it really stuck with me, just not dwelling too much on your failures, but looking forward, find a new solution, keep the momentum going, and keep the project going, as well as just saying yes to all opportunities. This really helped expand my avenues. I got to work a lot with the blogging team and some social media teams, as well as expanding my network here during my time at Red Hat. But that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my internship experience. Thank you.